Popularly known as the Island of Gods, Bali is an Indonesian island where 80% of its population relies on tourism. Taking into account the conditions wherein Bali has a limited agricultural area, no mining site, but is rich in culture, natural beauty, and the hospitality of the population. In 2020, Bali tourism got a big impact due to the pandemic. Therefore, the Indonesian government chose Bali for a national economic recovery project called ICRG. MTCRC is involved in the Indonesia Coral Reef Garden, or ICRG project. This project is a coral reef rehabilitation activity that synergizes scientific and socio-economic elements for conservation and sustainable use through edu-eco-tourism. The ICRG's initial program is aimed at restoring coral reefs. However, this goal is also shifted to economic recovery, particularly in the marine tourism sector. The ICRG program is targeted to absorb a workforce of around 11,000 people in 5 locations in Bali, while at the same time carrying out other objectives, namely coral reef restoration and research. The Nusa Dua area is where the field survey was conducted. It was aimed to determine its coastal biogeochemical characteristics. Nusa Dua has a 4 kilometers long stretch of sandy beach and has a complete coastal ecosystem, such as coral reefs, seagrass beds, and mangroves. After the survey, the collected data is used as the basis for planning coral restoration and the potential location of the boats sinking in Nusa Dua, Bali. To support this goal, MTCRC is invited by CMMAI to conduct comprehensive surveys consisting of marine geological investigations, oceanographic studies, bathymetric, and drone surveys. The survey mapping location is focused on the shallow waters along the Nusa Dua area, from Tanjung Benoa in the north to the shallow waters near Geger Temple in the south, with a total beach length of about 10.3 kilometers. The aerial survey using a drone and real-time kinematic device. To fulfill the drone survey objectives, survey planning is carried out by dividing the survey area into 38 flight mission areas. In general, the drone mapping area is about 300 to 500 meters wide and about 500 to 750 meters long, which adjusts to the position and estimates of the shallow waters of each location. The flying altitude in this study is 100 meters, so it can produce a ground sampling data value, also known as relative accuracy or local accuracy, of up to 2.73 centimeters for each pixel of the mapped data. Based on observations during the survey, the shallow waters zone includes sandy beach and seagrass vegetation areas, and also deep water boundaries have a depth of less than 2 meters. With these conditions and considering the tidal range that can reach more than 2 meters, the shallow water area can be dry in certain areas and conditions. This condition is definitely not suitable for the growth of coral reefs. Based on these results and explanations, the location for planting coral reefs in Nusa Dua, Bali, must be located outside the shallow waters, as it is identified in the orthomosaic map. Water quality survey is conducted using CTD. It is really important to know about the water quality, because the coral reefs are heavily influenced by environmental parameters. Coral habitat must be supported with good environmental parameters, such as acidity, dissolved oxygen, salinity, and temperature. Coral are difficult to grow, or even experience death, if these environmental parameters are not met. Due to this, water quality data collection should be conducted to provide measured data needed for coral reef restoration plan. Data processing for each parameter, which is turbidity, dissolved oxygen, acidity, salinity, and temperature, described and analyzed in spatial and vertical form. The pH and turbidity are met the quality standards in all locations. However, the temperature value is found to be lower than the quality standards at some observation points. Meanwhile, the salinity is observed to be higher than the quality standard. For the dissolved oxygen, its values of all observation points did not meet the specified quality standards, which supposed to be more than 5 milligrams per liter. Even so, the dissolved oxygen in these waters has almost reached the lower limit of the quality standard. These results only represent the conditions of the west monsoon, and further research is needed on the conditions of the east monsoon to conduct a better analysis. The bathymetric survey was carried out using single-beam and multi-beam echo sounder. On this survey, the total length of the route is about 174.4 kilometers. The raw data obtained from the single-beam and multi-beam echo sounder were corrected using tidal observation data measured by tide gauge and have been validated by tidal observation data from the nearest BIG observation station. The corrected results are then processed and interpolated to produce bathymetric data from the survey area in the form of a spatial map. The bathymetry in the Nusa Dua survey area varies from 3 meters to 85 meters. The deepest area is located in the southeast, marked by water depth of more than 70 meters. The shallow areas are found in the middle of the survey area with a depth range of 10 to 20 meters. To characterize the type of seabed in the survey area, the sediment samples from the seabed are retrieved using a grab sampler. Based on the collected samples, in general, there are two kinds of representative materials taken by the grab sampler, namely sand and coral. Sand is generally found in shallow areas near the coast, while the coral can still be found until sampling at the depth of 83 meters. Even at several stations, some live corals were also picked up by the grab sampler. The living corals that were found can be used as a benchmark that corals can live in the area. As a result, the area with yellow and green color is recommended places for coral transplantation. This is because the area is safe from the littoral zones and living corals were also found. Moreover, the results of the water quality survey in that area shows that the parameters meet the quality standards for coral growth. The shallow seismic survey was conducted using a sub-bottom profiler, or SBP, to see the seabed condition, in order to determine the area where coral reefs already exist and the habitat that is suitable for coral replantation. In the preliminary survey in Bali, MTCRC survey team used SBP, and it can be seen that the condition of the seabed surface in Nusa Dua waters is dominated by chunks of rock or coral. The result of the shallow seismic survey shows there is no geological structure layer under the seabed. If the shallow seismic signal cannot penetrate the seabed, it can be assumed that the seabed in the area is a hard seabed. This type of seabed can be rock or coral reefs. In another area, the seismic signal anomaly is found, which can be interpreted as a fairly soft coral because shallow seismic signals can penetrate a little in that section. With these results, in the next survey, SBP can be used to map the distribution of coral reef better. Based on the quality standards set by the Ministry of Environment, the water conditions in the Nusa Dua Bali are good enough for coral growth. Based on the drone mapping survey, the ideal location for planting coral reefs is outside the shallow waters zone. The area that generally located at a distance of about 500 meters from the coastline, or in detail, the distance of 1 kilometer in the area around Tanjung Benoa, and with a distance of 100 meters from the Mengiat beach. This project can be seen as the long-term project because of coral growth for years and relatively slow. And the water quality can be changed as the time passes, so that further condition observations or surveys have to be carried out in the near future to maintain the right conditions for coral to grow.